What's going on, y'all? This is Jacob with Secret Society of Goths. So a couple of weeks ago, Venustra was playing the Battle of the Bands at Come and Take It Live in Austin. And I told Ronan, the lead singer, that I would come out and record his set and also do an interview with him. But turns out I didn't have enough time to do all that. So let me take a breath. It's hard to talk and walk and breathe all at the same time. But so anyway, so there I was at the concert, and it went great. I thought they should have won. They didn't. One of the great injustices of the universe. What are we going to do about it? Anyway, so I didn't want to shelve the interview. I thought it was a really good interview, and I thought I should pull it back up, edit it up, send it out to YouTube. Anyway, so here it is. Here's my first ever in-person interview with Ronan Wind of Venustra. What's going on, guys? I'm Jacob. This is Secret Society of Goths. I'm here with Ronan of Venustra. How are you today?
I'm doing okay.
Could you explain to the viewers what we're doing here today?
So we are competing for a chance to go over to Wacken, and so far we have won the second round. And if we go to nationals and we win that, we go to internationals, which is in Germany, and the nationals are going to be in San Diego. So that's we have all the bands from the wider Texas area to compete right now. I think it was the third band that's going on right now, I think.
Now, I saw your last performance. I thought it was really good. I think you have a chance of winning this. But could you, before we started this interview, you were telling me a little bit of the history of Venustra. Could you tell these guys?
Absolutely. So I started doing this music thing since like 2009 under the moniker of Misery Theater. And initially what it was is that it was just a kind of trying a way to find a sound and trying to find my way, like what I could do as far as an artist is concerned. And towards the end of the life of that, I actually started trying to get a band together, and there was a lot of fallout, and there was a lot of stuff that never really happened that way, and because they always wanted to pull it in a certain direction. They always wanted to do like metalcore or something like that, and I was like, that's not what I wanted. So after the last vocalist I had on board, she had dropped out and left, and I was kind of sitting there trying to figure out, so what should I do? And in late 2014, I decided to just try to do everything myself and just kind of throw things at the wall and see what stuck. And so far, 10 years on, that's kind of where we are right now.
It's kind of crazy that you said you started in 2009. You're trying to steer clear of the metalcore thing, but that was the time for that. So you don't seem like somebody who really goes for trends. So I wanted to know, like, who were some of your influences that got you to make the music that you're playing now?
So a lot of people would compare us to like older Marilyn Manson stuff, Rob Zombie, White Zombie, a lot of the shock rock and stuff, and some of the new metal of the late 90s, early 2000s. Primarily, that is what we go for, but primarily my influences usually stem from like horror punk and Visual K and stuff like my main influence is Darren Gray. Mm-hmm. So a lot of what they do is pretty much my main inspiration of what happens in this band to this day. But it can stem from other things, kind of like Diablo Swing Orchestra from Sweden. It could even go for ragtime or circus music or anything I can really get my hands on.
Oh, speaking of, you do have a big circus theme. I've always really enjoyed that. The first time I saw y'all, I think, was here, and I was just blown away by your performance with your little skits that you do in between songs. Where did you get that from? Where did that come from?
Rap albums.
Rap albums.
The skits.
I didn't know you're a rap fan.
I am a rap fan.
Oh yeah.
Recently, we just got done. My partner and I, we just got done seeing that Wu-Tang Clan show that's on I think Amazon or something like that.
I haven't watched it yet, but people have been telling me about it.
We've been kind of on a kick on that one, but as far as the skits are concerned, I do implement that in the music and everything, because those are the only groups and artists that I ever hear that from, you know, and I don't hear that in metal most of the time.
Right.
So I was just kind of thinking to myself, well, just why not put if we're gonna be theatric, then why not put skits into the middle of the music? So.
Right. I think people really enjoy that. I think people one thing that's kind of missing from music nowadays, since social media has come about, there's more what's the right way to say this? There's less substance in their music. A couple of quick pictures for the gram, and then that's about it. And just seeing someone put in the effort to the themes that y'all do is quite refreshing.
Yeah, I've seen. I think part of that is because most of these bands don't necessarily have the proper backing to do that. So I do think that they usually go for the bare minimum. I've put the same concept to music videos as well. There's nothing really appealing to watch a music video and the only thing that they're doing is sitting in a warehouse with lights behind them jacking off their instruments, you know?
Yeah.
and nothing against those bands really, but it's just personally speaking, I feel like there needs to be some type of some type of storyline, because you're trying to like promote your band in a certain way, and if that gets lost on an audience, like what are they going to think exactly? So the whole point of, like, that's kind of the reason why we haven't really done any music videos, because a lot of that is just a lot of what I think about is very grandiose and has scripts and storyboards stuff. It's going to easily cost a lot of money in order to hammer those out.
Yeah. Are you planning on just sticking with the circus theme, or do you plan on evolving it?
Oh no, I have kind of like a 5-point plan document, like sitting on my computer right now. It's like each album has a different different theme. It has a different sound. The next album that we're working on right now is going to be a lot darker and probably a little bit more thrashier, more industrial stuff into it. And yeah, it's going to have a little bit of like the 2000s metalcore. But that's kind of just where I left metalcore to begin with. I was just anything beyond like 2010 is just like I never really got into it all that much. But yeah, this next album is going to be far darker than the first album. And speaking of the first album, we're going to try to go back and kind of re-record it and do a lot more with it, because I feel like there's a lot of nuance that's missing from it. And now, since we have like a full band right now that are a bunch of talented musicians, they're probably I've basically told them that they're going to be using what I wrote as a template. So just to kind of expand the whole idea, and it's the same thing that's going to be happening with this next album that we're doing.
Yeah, that's one of the blessings of being in a band that's independent, is you can like go back at an album you did like 5 years ago and be like, I was a different person then.
Right.
I have a different take on this now, and then you can just do it.
Yeah, and you don't have to bend your will to some corporate record label or something like that. You know, if somebody happens to pick you up and they actually have like the good graces to say, okay, you're gonna keep your masters, you're gonna keep all creativity and all this other good stuff, and just make something. Just make it happen. And we do find ourselves to being. I'm kind of like I'm the main songwriter to it all, and I'm the one who actually makes the sequences, the storylines, and all this other stuff. I'm literally to put it simply, this is kind of what Venustra to me is like what Nine Inch Nails is to Trent Reznor, essentially.
I was kind of putting that together with you guys. But yeah, I'm listening. What were you saying?
No, I think that was the end of that trail.
Sorry, I got ADHD like a motherfucker.
Oh, that was primarily the reason why I wrote "Praise the Lord and Pass My Medication." Is
good song.
There was there was a demographic back in the late 80s and early 90s that a lot of the kids were actually diagnosed ADD and ADHD, and the New York Times article that I read painted it as being very reckless in their diagnosis, and I was actually a part of that demographic, and later on down the road, they started giving me medications and stuff like that, and up until about middle school, I think they actually finally took me off of it, and I wouldn't be surprised if going through the whole entire medication process through at least about 10 years has kind of fucked me up somehow. I just have I get the depression sometimes.
Yeah.
Or sometimes, not most of the time.
Yeah, I think it is. We need to kind of remove that stigma of like not, or being weird to talk about your mental health issues, because the more you hold it in, the worse it gets.
No, I mean, I'm pretty open about it because it took me a very long time to try to manage all of that, and you know, this is a pretty good outlet for me. So
I was just about to ask, do you channel that through your music in any way?
Yeah, even with Candy Apples, it goes back as far. Like for example, when I wrote Step Right, or no, not Step Right Up, it was Cannibal. The main part of that storyline is that one of the main character gets dropped into this really big empty ass room. You can't see below, you can't see above, you can't see around you at all. The only thing that you're on is a platform with a light shining down on you in a tightrope that goes nowhere. And the only thing that's pulling you along is a noose around your neck, essentially.
That came from a dream, didn't it?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And it could stem from a lot of things. It could stem from peer pressure. It could stem from falling out with your friends, or falling out with your family, or falling out with yourself, essentially. It could mean, I based it off of my fear of heights.
Okay.
So I'm generally very open about certain things about my mental health, and it's a good outlet. And I don't know if you don't apply to that to your creative process, then I think it does it a very big disservice if you're not talking about it in some way.
All right, man. We're starting to kind of come close on time, so 3 rapid fire questions.
Sure.
All right. Favorite horror movie, favorite album, favorite junk food.
Oh shit. Favorite horror movie. Well, off the top of my head, I would have to say The Exorcist, because it was the first one to scare the ever living shit out of me. What was the other two? I'm sorry.
Favorite album and favorite junk food? Yeah, junk food.
My favorite album is Marrow of a Bone by Deer and Gray, and because that's just one of their harder, like more thrashier albums, and I love it to death.
I used to have that CD.
And my favorite junk food has to be the Sour Patch Kids.
Sour Patch Kids.
And and it took me a long time to try to get off of it. So, because I'm trying to lose a little weight here. So it's just trying to lay off the sugar, trying to lay off all this other shit. So.
Hell yeah. Well, all right. Do you have any pluggables? Where can people find you at?
You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Facebook. And you can find us on the Instagrams, TikToks, and all this other shit. I'm not on it very much because I'm not a very social person generally. But if you ask a question, if you ask a comment, I will answer you and all this other good stuff. So.
All right. So take it easy.